In this vodcast, I'll be talking about idents. These are usually placed at the beginning of a movie and identify which companies have been involved in the overall making of the movie. An ident usually lasts between 4 and 7 seconds, so usually a total of 8 to 28 seconds overall. There are usually 2 to 4 idents before a film starts, however some movies have more and some have less, some even have none. The bigger conglomerates such as the Big Five, which is Warner Brothers, Paramount, NBC Universal, Sony and Walt Disney, get a lot more screen time for their idents rather than smaller junior companies. The Big Five also usually don't have audio bridges over them. Idents can be slightly altered to connote the genre of a film as well.
In this vodcast, I will be mostly looking at different movies produced by Working Title, a subsidiary of the conglomerate NBC Universal, which was one of the Big Five, and Warp, an indie company. The first movie we will look at is Tyrannosaur, directed by Paddy Considine and released in the year 2011. The budget for this social realist movie was £750,000, less than 1% of the Working Title tentpole, Green Zone. There are no idents, however there are titles. This is quite common for indie movies. There is also an audio bridge over these titles. This is England, directed by Shane Meadows, released in 2007, also doesn't have any idents. In this freeze frame here, you can see that it's Film 4 and UK Film Council presenting the movie. This means that they helped to fund the movie. UK Film Council is now known as BFI, which stands for British Film Institute. They get their money from the lottery and the government to help develop British films so that they have a secure history. It also ensures that non-commercial movies with representations of film types get a chance to be seen. The movie Le Donkin Scorsese was directed by Shane Meadows and released in 2009. It had a £48,000 budget with a 5-day shoot. It has a different approach to the idents and titles with an illustrated version. About a Boy, directed by Chris and Paul Weitz, has a budget of $40.5 million and was released in 2002. The working title movie has a total of 3 idents at the beginning of the movie. The first 2, Universal and Studio Canal, have their own jingle. Working Title has an audio bridge. This is because Working Title is a subsidiary of Universal, so it is less important and doesn't need a jingle. The Universal ident lasts 20 seconds, the Studio Canal ident lasts 16 seconds, and the Working Title ident lasts 10 seconds, so all 3 idents last 46 seconds together.
The movie Ali G in the House, directed by Mylord in 2002, also has the same amount of idents and the same length of time as About a Boy. Atonement, directed by Joe Wright in 2007, with a budget of $30 million, has the Universal ident for 20 seconds and the working title ident for 10 seconds, 30 seconds overall. Although very common for indie movies to not have idents at the beginning of their movies, some working title movies also don't have idents. This is usually because the movie is older. For example, this is Wish You Were Here, directed by Lee Land in 1978. As I stated before, some idents are altered to signify the genre of the film. The Friday the 13th remake, directed by Marcus Nispel in 2009, is a perfect example. The Paramount, New Line Cinema and Platinum Dunes idents have a red tint connoting the slasher genre. These idents also have an audio bridge. The Paramount ident lasts 20 seconds, the New Line Cinema one lasts 15 seconds, and the Platinum Dune one also lasts 15 seconds, so a total of 50 seconds for all 3.